My name is Mark. I was born and raised in Northern Ontario, and this is my wife.
Ade. I was raised in a small town, Indonesia.
I was introduced to Islam. Essentially, my wife said that her family had said, if I wanted to be part of the family unit, it would be necessary for me to convert to Islam. At this point in time in my life, I didn't really have a relationship with Jesus. I was pretty much led to believe that most of the stories of the Bible were fictitious. Her family says you need to convert to Islam. That couldn't be more accurate. So when they had made this invitation, I said, of course, well, I love my wife. Essentially, what I was led to understand was that, they know Jesus as well. It's just that he was a prophet and not the Son of God. So that was actually very easy for me to believe. It seems like Christians had it wrong the whole time. I recited a bunch of verses, right, in Arabic. And
you
then
said the Shahada.
The Shahada. There you go. That's the word. It was the Shahada.
And everybody is clapping hands. You're like, what happened? You're a Muslim.
I'm a Muslim now.
My journey, it was very much a mix of different beliefs. So I was raised by an atheist dad, and my mom was very devoted Muslim. By the time it was during my young adults, my parents got divorced, and that led me to left the Islam faith. I felt like I couldn't connect with the God that created me. There's a lot of just not sure if God was really there.
When I got on the prayer mat and I was praying in Arabic, I remember asking my wife, do you know what you're praying?
And at that time, I was like, wow, nobody ever asked me that question.
And what we realized very quickly is it didn't matter what we did. There was no connection. The God of Islam is unreachable, period. I started having experiences where Jesus would reveal himself either through visions or in my dreams. My wife said, I think I want to go to church. And I remember looking at her, I said, you mean like a mosque? And funny enough, we were trying to go to mosques, yes, and we couldn't, for the life of us, get somebody to meet with us. It was like an imam of the mosque was about as reachable as Allah was. Literally, I got a text message on my Facebook Messenger from a complete stranger. And he said to me, hey, Mark, I feel compelled to invite you to church.
As soon as we enter the church, I just felt this I've never felt anything like that before, even though, when I go to mosque, there's nothing like this. All of a sudden I started with worship. We wept for 2 hours. Yeah. And I look at Mark and he also wept.
I think the best way to summarize as how I felt is when I read the story about the prodigal son, I was home with my father and I felt it. 40 years he waited for me.
It was that day we knew, would you give your life to Jesus? I just raised my hand and I knew, I said, Jesus, I said, I will follow you.
Here's the thing. I put my hand up and I accepted, but part of me was still hung up. And that's where my pastor, 2 or 3 days of me making that prayer, he said, Mark, it seems to me like God is telling you it's time to make a choice. Do you choose the God of Islam or do you choose Jesus? And when he said that, I had a vision of Jesus on the cross behind him. And I immediately just said, you know what, I'm in. And from that point forward, I accepted Jesus fully with my heart.